race to join Birmingham City in the Championship is still hot to a bloody trot as Charlton put 4 past high-flying Wycombe Wanderers. What's that done to the table? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video today. It's all about match number 45, that's right, over in League One, and we'll get to that in a second. Of course, if you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button, one-stop shop for League One, Blackpool Rovers, world football. We're going to all here under one roof. Of course, it's been decided a long time ago. Birmingham back in the Championship, of course, but who will join them? Will it be Wickham? Will it be Wrexham? Will it be Charlton? Will it be Stockport? Who bloody knows? Of course, 6 points left on the table. Of course, 5 points separate 5th from 2nd, and we'll showcase you all that and more in a second. Of course, big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are, and of course, if you're new, hit the old subscribe, boys and girls. So let's get into it and review the results that did take place this past Easter Monday, that's right, and they're on the screen right about now. Of course, kicking it all off with a thriller, not really a thriller, but all square between Barnsley and Peterborough, 1-1 at Oakwell. Wrexham with a 2-1 away win against Blackpool, of course, to end the hopes of Blackpool. They actually got 9 points on the offer, so, you know, it's over. Is it over? Is it 7 points? I think mathematically they can still just about do it, Blackpool, but realistically it's a bridge too far. Anyway, Stevenage won a 1-0 win over Bristol. Rovers. Burton did lose to Birmingham, 2-1 on the night there. Of course, Burton in a bit of trouble. Leyton Orient with a 2-1 win over Cambridge to dent their hopes and boost Leyton Orient's chances in the top 6. Crawley with a 3-1 win over Exeter. Wow. Lincoln 4-2 winners over Bolton to put them to bed. They're out of the equation as well, you would imagine. Kicking on forward, but we have 5-1 win Reading over Mansfield. Goodness gracious me, what a performance that was. As well as Northampton Town with a 4-1 win over Shrewsbury. Stockport County with a 2-1 win over Huddersfield. Again, that's them over and out. Stockport County well and truly in the mixer there. Wigan with a 1-1 win over Rotherham. And of course, Charlton put 4 past Wickham. What does that mean for the table? Well, hold on tight, guys. I'll show you right here, right now. It looks a little bit like this as you see it. We know Birmingham are there. Wrexham are in the driving seat. 2 games remaining, of course, and they're 2 points clear over Wickham as it stands. They are, 4 points clear over Charlton as well. It doesn't look like a bridge too far for Charlton at the moment, but hey, game at a time. That's all you got to think. And Stockport mathematically can also gate crash that top 2 if they were to get a little bit of joy their results. But what is the race for the 6th spot? It is Orient at the moment. Reading also in the mixer there. And mathematically, Bolton could still just about do it. The goal difference is pretty shit, so it's unlikely. And then, of course, Blackpool there, if they were to win their game in hand, they were up to 66 points. They have a stronger goal difference than that of Reading, but Leyton Orient definitely have the upper hand as well. So it is looking like a bridge too far for Blackpool. Can they close the door? We'll see. Meanwhile, going down, Cambridge look like they're down and out. They're 5 points adrift with 6 on the table. Crawley and Bristol Rovers occupy the spots right now. You can't rule out Mansfield. They might get sucked into it at the bitter end as well. What is it? 5 points the difference between them because they've just on a bad bit of form, but they do have a game in hand, as do Burton. They need to win those games. And I think we're going to talk about them briefly right here, right now. No, we're not. No, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to jump into the deep end right here, right now. This is, of course, the link to the Prediction League. Keep on doing your thing over there. But these are the next round of games, of course. And we're going to take a short, sharp look at them right here, right now. Starting with Saturday's games up at on April the 26th. We go Bristol Rovers up against Reading. Big game at the top and the bottom. That's right, as Bristol Rovers under Ignal Calderon are in trouble. They're 21st right now, 43 points for the season. Up against Reading and a Noel Hunt, who are 7th with 72 points, must-win territory. Now, they played 6 times, these two sides, in 2011. 1 win for Bristol Rovers, 4 wins for Reading. There's been 1 draw between the two sides. Bristol Rovers, last time they played at this very venue, it was a 2-0 win for Reading. That was back on match number 40 last season in April. The reverse fixture this season at the Matchday was a 1-0 win for Reading way back in October. Reading were actually back-to-back wins over them. They're unbeaten in the last 3 as well against them. They're coming into something like that 5-1 win away to Mansfield. Stevenage on the back of that 1-0 win over Bristol Rovers last time around. The bookies' odds on this one, they'll go with probably Reading. They look like the form team right now. Got a bit of momentum between their wings. I also think they'll get only a point, though, in my eyes. I think that dampens both hopes at the top and the bottom. Bristol Rovers need more than that, to be honest with you. And I think Reading need more than that to maintain the top 6. But because it's a monstrous game at Brisbane Road, it's Orient up against Wycombe Wanderers. That's right, coming at you on the same day. Of course, Richie Wellens' boys are 6th in the table, 72 points for the season. They won 4 on the spin up against Wickham under Mike Dodds, who are just about to bottle job the whole league at the moment. They are 3rd with 84 points, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They played 15 times, these two clubs, since 2004. We have Orient winning winning 4 of them, 9 wins for Wickham. There's been 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at Brisbane Road, it was a 0-0 draw way back in December 2023. The reverse fixture at the Adams Park was a 3-0 win for Wickham back in October. Wickham are actually unbeaten against the Orient over the last 5, picking up 4 wins and that 1 draw. Wickham, though, losing heavily at home to Charlton, 4-0 win last time around for Charlton. Of course, the Orient with a 2-1 away win to Cambridge to make it 3 away wins on the spin. Goodness gracious, good form for them right now. Of course, on this one, though, the bookies are fancying Wickham on this one, but you got to admit that the Orient have been a breath of fresh air on this one. I think they're going to win this one. I think their tails are up, Wickham's tails are down, and that could put a nail in the coffin. A monumental, if not crucial, a nail in the coffin for the playoff stakes. Because look at that Wrexham Charlton game down there. Wow. Anyway, we go to Barnsley next up against Shrewsbury coming to at Oakwell. Barnsley under Conor Hoonahane right now these days. They are 12th in the table, just 1 win the last 6. They have 58 points for the season. Up against Shrewsbury under Michael Appleton. They'll win this in the last 6. They're rock bottom, and they'll be playing League 2 football next season. They played 9 times since 2015. 6 wins Barnsley, 2 in Shrewsbury, 1 draw between the two sides. That 1 draw was then back in February 2024, back on match number 33. The last time that these two sides played, though, at Oakwell was a 3-0 win for Barnsley back in October 2023. The reverse fixture at Shrewsbury back in this season, early season, back in October, it was a 2-0 win for Barnsley way back when. Barnsley on the back of that draw against Peterborough, Shrewsbury on the back of that heavy defeat against Northampton Town. The odds on this one, Barnsley expect to win this one at Oakwell, and I'm expecting them to do just that as well. 2-1 win for Hoonahane's boys in the end. Burton Albion against Cambridge, what a game. Ding-dong classic at the Pirelli. Gavin Bowyer's boys are 20th, 43 points for the season, up against Cambridge and Neil Harris, who are 23rd with 38 points for the season. A win for Cambridge could close the door and potentially give themselves life at the end of the season. As they played 20 times since 2005, 7 wins Burton, 8 wins Cambridge, 5 draws between the two sides. Of course, Burton on the back of a 2-1 win last time around at the Pirelli way back in October 2023. The reverse fixture at Cambridge was a 1-0 win for Cambridge back in October. Birmingham did beat Burton last time around, 2-1 win at the Pirelli, with Cambridge losing to Orient last time around, with both sides looking to get back to winning ways. The odds for this one going in favour of Burton. They're heavily fancied by the bookies. I've gone with a win for them as well, to pretty much put them a little bit of distance between themselves and the drop heading into the final game of the season. Crawley Town under Northampton Town then, shall we? Coming at Crawley this coming April the 26th as well. Crawley under Scott Lindsay again these days, back-to-back games unbeaten, 22nd in the table, 40 points for the season, up against Northampton Town and Kevin Nolan, who are 18th with 50 points for the season. They just lost once in the last 4. They played 13 times, these two sides, in 2011, 6 wins for Northampton. We have 4 wins Crawley. There's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around, over at Crawley, it was a 3-2 win for Northampton Town back in August 2022. That was in League 2. A reverse fixture this season at Sixfields was a 3-0 win for Northampton Town back in October. Crawley on the back of that 3-1 win over Exeter. Northampton Town putting 4 past Shrewsbury in a 4-1 win last time around. The odds right here, right now, Crawley expect to get the W here over Nolan's boys. Going to go with a 2-0 win as well to, again, add a bit of spice in the old relegation race down the front of the table. Exeter City against Huddersfield, a bit of a dead rubber coming at St James's Park. Of course, Exeter under Gary Caldwell these days are 16th at the table, 53 points for the season, just 1 win in the last 6 matches. Up against Huddersfield and John Worthington, just 1 win in the last 6. They've lost 4 on the spin, and they are 9th, 64 points for the season. Miserable campaign for Huddersfield. They played 7 times since 2009, 5 wins for Huddersfield, 2 wins Exeter. There's been no draws between the two sides. Last time around at Exeter was a 4-0 win for Huddersfield back in October 2011. That was in League 1. The reverse fixture at the McAlpine was a 2-0 win for Huddersfield back in October. Huddersfield on the back of that 2-1 loss to Stockport. That was on good Easter Monday. Exeter losing to Crawley as well. Same match day on that one. But the bookies for this one, they'll back Huddersfield. I don't know why. Absolutely ludicrous decision. I've gone with a 1-1 draw, point in the bag, perhaps at the very best for Huddersfield, but it could easily be an Exeter victory. Meanwhile, in form, Peterborough taking on Bolton. That's right. Too little, too late for Darren Ferguson's boys. They're 17th at the table, 50 points for the season, unbeaten in the last 3 matches. Up against Bolton under Stephen Schumacher, 4 defeats on the spin. Their season is just about over. They played Peterborough 13 times since 1993. They've won 7 of them. Peterborough have won 3 of them, and there's been 3 draws between the two sides. Last time around at Peterborough, we had a 6-goal Bobby Dazzler, 3-3 it was, back around about this time last season, the 27th of April 2024. The reverse fixture at Bolton was a 1-0 win for Bolton back on October. Bolton losing 4-2 to Lincoln most recently. 3 defeats on the spin, 4 defeats on the spin. Goodness gracious me. Peterborough on the back of back-to-back draws, drawing with Stockport and drawing with Barnsley. on the road. The odds for this one, though, quite tight, evenly tight. Bolton just about edge it. Again, ludicrous decision. 2-0 winners. Peterborough got it. Bolton are shit. Meanwhile, Stockport County against Lincoln, must-win territory for Stockport. If they are going to gate crash that top two, they can still do it. They need to win, and hopefully, I don't know what they need against Wrexham, against Charlton, I don't know. But anyway, Stockport coming at you with David Sharner at the helm, 5th in the table, 81 points for the season. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6, winning 5 of that last 6. Up against Lincoln and Michael Skabula are 11th, 61 points for the season. They're also unbeaten in the last 5. They played 15 times, these two clubs, 5 wins apiece and 5 draws, including a draw. I don't know, that wasn't a draw. Last time they played over at this very venue, Edgley Park, it was a 2-0 win for Stockport back in February 2013. That was in the non-league football. Lincoln, though, picking up a 2-1 win at Sincil back in October in this campaign. Lincoln on the back of that 4-2 win over Bolton. Stockport with that 2-1 win over Huddersfield last time around. The odds, though, for this, what are we looking at? Stockport expect to get the W. I think they will as well. Not big, not pretty, but enough. 1-0 winners. Whoa, Stockport taking it to the house. Wigan Athletic up against Blackpool coming to at the DW. A bit of a Northwest crunch clash this one. Wigan under Ryan Lowe. 15 for the table, 53 points for the season. They're unbeaten in the last 5 now and back-to-back wins. Blackpool under Stevie Bruce. 10 for the table, 63 points for the season. 2 defeats in the last 3, though, as Grim Times is just about to hit the beach on this one. 24 times they have played since 2002. 12 wins Wigan, 10 wins Blackpool. 2 draws between the two sides. Last time around over at the DW, it was a 1-0 win for Wigan back in March 2024. The reverse fixture, a 2-2 draw at Bloomfield Road back in October. Blackpool took on Wrexham last time around. They lost 2 on that one. They've got Birmingham to play as well. It's not looking good for them, is it really? Meanwhile, Wigan on the back of that 1-0 win over Rotherham, back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, 3 clean sheets on the spin for Wigan on this one. The odds right here, and a quite tight Blackpool edge it, but I think Wigan might have it. Tails. I think I'm going to go over the draw with all local cards on the line here. A bit of bragging rights. I think it'll be all square and yes, kill off any hopes Blackpool had of gate crashing that. Meanwhile, the game of the day, it is Wrexham. It is Charlton coming at you at the racecourse ground. Wrexham under Paul Philpark are second, 86 points for the season. Just 1 win the last 3 for Wrexham. In fact, 2 wins the last 5 for them. Up against Charlton, who won 5 out of the last 6. Of course, they only played once. It was a reverse fixture, and it was a draw back at Charlton. That was 2-2 draw back in October. Wrexham on the back of that 2-1 win over Blackpool. Of course, Charlton on the back of that 4-0 win over Wickham to make it 3 wins on the spin for Charlton. Just 1 goal conceded in those last 3. The bookies' odds on this one, they'll go with Wrexham. Of course they would, because they're balmy. They're absolutely batshit crazy. But aren't me. I'm going to back Nathan Jones. He is the shithouse merchant. He'll scrap this one. 2-1 win. And of course, breathe life into that automatic promotion race. We'll have a look at it in a second. Stevenage against Rotherham coming at you on Sunday, April the 27th. Stevenage under Alex Ravel are 14th right now. 55 points for the season. 2 wins, 2 defeats in the last 4. Up against Rotherham under Matthew Hamshaw. 3 matches without a win then. They are 13th with 55 points for the season. They played 6 times to 2010. 4 wins Rotherham, 1 win for Stevenage. And there's been 1 draw between the two sides. Last time around over at Stevenage, it was a 3-0 win for Rotherham back in November 2013. Goodness gracious me, it is the Steve Evans derby, this one. 3-0 win was for Rotherham. Of course, Rotherham also picking up the win at the New York Stadium back in October. Rotherham losing to Wigan most recently. Stevenage picking up the 1-0 win over Bristol Rovers. This one's tight. Stevenage just about edge it with the bookies. I've gone with a 1-0 win on the road for Rotherham United. And then finally, it is the champions up against Mansfield Town. Bit of a worrying time for Mansfield. They did so well earlier in the season, but now they are falling like a stone here. Birmingham under Chris Davies are top of the pops, 99 points. They're trying to get into triple digits. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Mansfield under Nigel Clough, who have lost, winless in the last 5. They've lost 4 of that last 5. They sit 19th with 48 points for the season. They did play the reverse fixture at Mansfield back in October. It was a 1-1 draw. Mansfield, though, picking up a 5-1 loss to Reading last time around. Birmingham with a 2-1 win at the Pirelli against Burton. They are, of course, expected to win this one quite heavily, quite handsomely. I've gone with a 2-0 win for Birmingham to, of course, break into triple digits. And, of course, if I'm right, this is what the table will look like. Something along these lines, guys. And there was, of course, a game, Birmingham playing a game on a Thursday. Of course, they're playing this game on a Sunday. So this is what we have here. It will be Wrexham by 1 point with Charlton. And, of course, Stockport County also. And even Wickham. So we'll go into the final day of the season. Wow, are we? Well, 4 clubs battling out for that one and only automatic spot. Who will get it? I don't even know. Crazy, crazy stuff. And then going down, we'll have Crawley. We'll have Bristol Rovers. We'll have Burton. We'll have... That's probably about it. That'll probably be about it. In fact, I don't know. Burton has a game in hand. It could all be over. It could all be over between Burton. They could all be down. They could all be down by this point as we head into the final game of the season. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions about that as we look forward to the final game of the season. Don't forget, we'll be back, though, for the playoffs and more here over in League 2 and League 1 and, of course, the Championship. But until then, subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. Until then, we're done.